going through the tough thing called obedience. Going through the tough thing called obedience. Why are Christians so uptight about obedience, righteousness, sin, and all that? Was a question somebody asked me one day. In other words, you Christians out there, every time you say, let's be obedient, do not sin, be righteous, and all that kind of stuff. Why are you Christians so uptight about something like that? Why the fuss about obedience? Now, if God is God and knows all our weaknesses, and He can perceive that we will mess up, He knows that the consequences of messing up is not pleasant. And if God knows all those things, then why does He put us in a situation where we will find ourselves struggling to choose between obeying and not obeying Him? This was a question put to me by one of my daughters. You won't believe it. Now, why can't God just leave us alone to enjoy the life we have as it is and as the pleasures come day by day? By the way, the argument continues. What does He expect us to do, especially in the times when we don't know what to do? Stimulating questions. What therefore is the fuss about obedience? If He created everything, created all things, gave everything so that we will enjoy them, why is it that when we mess up, He's so uptight about it? If He created it. Beloved brethren in Christ, isn't God merciful enough? Isn't He a merciful God? Then why does He appear to be mean most of the times? If God is merciful, why does He appear to be mean? Think about it. So tonight, why then should we consider or even think about this whole thing about obedience? Well, I don't think I have a straightforward answer. So we are going to look into the scriptures together, and we will try to understand some of those hard questions together by exploring, number one, some journeys of obedience in the Bible. Number two, the jeopardy of being disobedient. Number three, the justification or the motivation for living an obedient life. And finally, the jurisdiction of living an obedient life. Those sound like big words, but we will come to them very gently and we will look at them very carefully. Why the mess, or why the fuss about obedience? Why shouldn't God leave us alone if we make a mess? Well, I think that He has a reason for doing all that. So we'll look at the journey, we'll look at the jeopardy, we'll look at the justification, and finally, we'll look at the territory within which we must be obedient to God. Are you ready? Shall we go tonight? Okay, let's